vinodamatra tattva lakshananvayam sadhu sangha Krishna nama sadhanaika nishchayam. Prema seva naikamatra sadhya Krishna tatparam. Prema dhamma deva meva nami gora sundaram. Atmarama vachanaika shasti karta darshitam Rudra samkhya shabda jata rajarartha samritam. Rudra samkhya shabda jata rajarartha samritam. Sarva sarva yukta tatat artha buddhi dakharam. Prema dhamma deva meva nami gora sundaram. Nami Gaura Sundaram. Primadama Deva Meva Nami Gaura Sundaram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. These are some very beautiful Sanskrit prayers. There's 70 verses, and they're summarizing the life of Lord Chaitanya And so every evening we're singing 10 of these verses, and then in the 7 days of the week, then we cover all of them. They were composed by our Param Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj. Very sweet, very fine, very beautiful. Okay, well, today is our Bhagavad Gita class. We're happy to be with all of you this evening. And let's see where we are. We are beginning the second chapter, if I am not mistaken. So last week we stopped on the battlefield. Last week we stopped on the battlefield. Arjuna is facing dilemma: to fight or not to fight. This is the question. And we can just chant together this verse's invocation. Vande Shri Guru Gaurango Radha Govinda Sundaro Sagunagiyate Chata Gita Buddhartha Gaudavam. Bowing down to the holy feet of Shri Guru, Shri Gauranga, and Shri Radha Govinda Sundar, all accompanied by their associates, I sing the glories of the hidden treasure of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so chapter 2. And can anyone remember any of the arguments that Arjuna made that we discussed last week? Anything at all?
We're saying, how can we fight with our own relatives, our own brothers,
yes,
and family?
Yes.
Is it worth it for just to get the kingdom?
Yes. Yes.
He was saying, I'd rather give it up.
Yes.
Lie down and just...
Yes. Let them kill me,
yes,
and I'll die unarmed and unresisting on the battlefield. Yes. And my favorite is his comment that why should, they're behaving like this because they don't know any better. They're ignorant. But we know better. So what excuse do we have? That we should not respond in kind. But we must adhere to higher principles. So finally Arjuna, he's trembling, he's perspiring. He lays down his bow and he says, Krishna, I'm sorry, I cannot fight. And then Krishna responds. We've come to chapter 2, Sankhya Yoga, the constitution of the soul. And as last week, we're going to hear, I'm not prepared this week, we're going to hear from our Gurudev chanting. Okay, I think we're connected.
श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवाचार्य श्री गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता द्वितीयोध्याय सांख्य योग। संजय उवाच तम तथा कृपयाविष्टामश्रुपूर्णाकुलेक्षणम् विषीदं तमिदं वाक्यमुवाच मधुसूदनः।
Okay, so chant together. Sanjaya uvacha tam tata kripaya vishtam ashurpurna kulekshanam vishidantam idam vakyam uvacha madhusudana. Okay, Saraswati Ji, do you want to start?
Sanjaya said, the Supreme Lord Madhusudana then spoke to the saddened Arjuna, whose heart was filled with pity, his eye brimming with tears.
Sri Bhagavan Vacha Kutastakasmalamidam Vishami Samupasthitam Anadhustamashargam Akritti Karamarjuna.
Okay. Kutastva kashmalam idam vishame samupashtitam anarya drishtam asvargyam akirti kadam arjuna.
The Supreme Lord said, O Arjuna, how has such illusion overcome you at this crucial moment? This does not befit an Aryan, and it leads not to heaven but to infamy.
Infamy, you know what that means? Means like the opposite of like glory, like you will become famous, and infamous means you'll be famous for a bad thing. So like that. So it's only going to give you bad results. And you're an Aryan. This actually, maybe you heard that word in relation to Hitler, but Hitler stole that word. And the word Aryan, it means like a very noble person, like a courageous person who is very righteous and they follow the Vedic culture, a very dharmic person. So, you know, you're a Kshatriya. You know Kshatriya, right? Their main duty is protecting and fighting. Kshatriya, I'm pronouncing it wrongly. So that is your duty, to protect society, to uphold the Dharma, and to be ready to fight for that if necessary. But this is an illusion. You're forgetting your real duty. It will only lead to your infamy, your bad name and fame. Okay, verse number 3. Klaivyam masma gama partha naitattvai upapadyate kshudram hridaya dorbalyam tyatto tishta parantapa. Number 3.
O son of Kunti, give up this cowardice, for it does not befit you. O great hero, cast off this petty weakness of heart and arise for battle.
Okay.
Arjuna Vacha Katham Bhishma Aham Sankhe Dhruvancha Madhusudana Ishuri Pratijitsami Pujaha Madhusudana.
Arjuna Vacha Katham Bhishmam Aham Sankhe Dronam Cha Madhusudana Ishuri Pratiyochyami Pujarha Adhisudana.
Arjuna said, O Madhusudana, slayer of enemies, how can I counterattack shooting arrow at vulnerables?
Venerable Bhishma.
Bhishma and my teacher Drona, who are worthy of my worship.
Okay, so we're going to number 5.
Guruna hatyahi mahanubhavam Sri bhakti bhakkama piha loke Bhatta Kamastu Guruni Yahiva Gunjiya Bhogani Vidhuva Pravidhan.
Guru Nahatva Hi Mahanubhavan Shreyo Bhuktam Vaiksham Api Haloke Hatvarta Kamans tu Gurun Ihaiva Bunjiya Bhogan Ludira Pradigdan. 5. It is better to live in this world and beg without taking the lives of our noble elders and teachers. Otherwise, by killing them, we shall remain in this world only to enjoy their wealth and possessions tainted with their blood. Okay, now number 6.
Na Chaitadi Bhigna Kataran No Gariyu Yadra Jaina Yadidar No Jayu Yani Bahattana Jiji Vishava Eva Sita Pramukhi Dhatarashra.
Okay. Na Chaitad Vidmaha Kataran Na Gariyo Yadva Jayema Yadivano Jayayu Yan Eva Hatva Na Jiji Vishamas Te Vastita Pramuke Dhartarashtra. So we're on verse number 6. Markandeya Prabhu.
I cannot understand which will be better, victory or defeat. For if we kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and now stand before us on the battlefield, we shall not wish to live.
Very heavy. Okay, and now we're coming to the very beginning of Bhagavad Gita. This verse marks the real beginning of Bhagavad Gita. Verse number 7 here.
Katpannadushu Pahata Svabhava Prichhamitam Dharma Sammudhachita Jatsira Shannischitam Gruhitam Me Sishyasti Hang Sadhimangtam Prapannam.
Karpanya dosho pahata swabhava Prichami tvam dharma samudachetaha Yakshayasyan nishchitam bruhitan me Shishyaste ham shadi mam tvam prapanam. This is so heart-rending, this prayer of Arjuna.
Now I'm bewildered. What is my real duty? I'm losing heart and distraught. So please tell me clearly what is the best course of action to take. I am your surrendered disciple. Please instruct me.
Very nice. So Arjuna, he's expressed all of his doubts and he's expressed all the reasons why he feels this is the wrong thing to do. And then finally, he's taking the humble position and saying, Krishna, actually, I don't know what is right and I don't know what is wrong. I cannot trust my own judgment. So you, please, you tell me. You tell me what is the proper thing to do. I cannot rely on my own mind. I cannot rely on my own estimation of things. So this is very significant, this point of Gita, because Krishna and Arjuna, they're friends. They have a very friendly relationship. And Krishna, to the extent that Krishna is taking the humble position as the chariot driver of Arjuna. And you see later in the Gita, when Krishna shows his Vishvarup, his universal form, then Arjuna is apologizing, oh Krishna, in the intimacy of our friendship, I've referred to you in a very intimate, familiar way, hey, my buddy, hey, Yadava, and so on and so forth. So they have this intimacy. But here, they're setting that aside, and here Arjuna, he's taking the position of a disciple, and Krishna is taking the position of a guru. And so this is a very beautiful example for us. What is the guru-disciple relationship, and how when we come to practice spiritual life, we have to leave aside what preconceptions we've collected from the world of our own experience. Whatever limited ideas that we have, we've collected so many ideas from the world, we've had so many experiences, and we formed particular opinions and prejudices based on that. But when we're coming to spiritual matters, it is a different category. And so we have to set that acquired knowledge and experience aside, and be ready, be open to receive and hear a higher way of seeing things, a higher perspective, higher vision. Our Gurudev, when he came to join this mission, he was 17 years old. He was a 17-year-old boy. And he showed that example when he came to his Guru, Srila Sridhar Maharaj. The first question Srila Sridhar Maharaj asked him was, can you follow me and not follow your own mind? What your own mind will tell you, don't follow that. But you follow what advice I will give you. No? This was the very first instruction that he gave. And so we see that here also. Okay, so we can continue. Number 8.
Nahi prapasyami mamanupadyat jatsukamuchu samaniyanam avatya bhumava shapatinamitham rajyan suranam api chadhipatyam.
Okay. Nahi prapasyami mamanupadyat Jat shokam uchoshanam indriyanam avapya bhumav asapatnam ridam rajyam suranam api charipatyam. Verse number 8.
Even if we gain an unrivaled flourishing kingdom on earth and sovereignty over heaven, I see nothing to dispel my debilitating grief.
Do you understand all those words? Some big words in there. Unrivaled. You know that word?
Yeah.
Flourishing.
Yeah.
Sovereignty.
No.
Sovereignty means like to be the ruler. The sovereign means like a king. So to have sovereignty means like you're the king, you're the ruler, you're in control. And dispel, debilitating. Debilitating means like weakening, like it's reducing me. This grief is like reducing, weakening me, like that. So like even if we like nothing in this world, or even beyond this world in the heavens can be worth the suffering that this will cause, the unhappiness that this will cause. Nothing can relieve my grief. No promise of happy material happiness is worth this. Even to be the king of heaven, where unlimited enjoyment is possible. Okay, so verse number 9.
Eva mukta Vishakha Dasi parantapa nagatsa iti govinda muktva tushni babhuvaha.
Sanjaya vacha evam uktva Vishakesham gudakesha parantapa nayaksya iti govindam uktva tushnim babhuvaha. Verse number 9.
Sanjaya said, thus the valiant, vigilant Arjuna spoke to Krishna, who is Rishikesh, the lord of the senses of all beings. Then he declared, Govinda, I will not fight, and fell silent.
तमुवाच ऋषिकेश प्रसन्निव भारत सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये विषीदन्त विदङ्गवचः
Tamuvacha Rishikesha Prahasan Iva Bharata Senayor Ubayor Madhye Vishidantam Idam Vacha.
O Bharata, there amidst and armies, Shri Rishikesh, smiling, spoke thus to the grief-stricken Arjuna.
And I always think of this verse, it's very striking because Arjuna, with his limited vision, he is very unhappy. He's grief-stricken. He's he's overcome by extreme sadness. But Krishna, what is Krishna doing? He's smiling. So it makes me think that, by material considerations, by limited considerations, we may lament, we may be very unhappy about things, but if we have higher spiritual vision, that very same situation, it will give a completely different reaction. It's mentioned, there's a nice verse in Bhagavatam. Where does it go? Sarva Shuka Mayadisha. That's the first line. I can't remember the first line, but Krishna is saying, the Lord is saying that for one who can see me and everything, Sarva Shuka Mayadisha, from all directions they see happiness. Happiness is coming to them. One who can see the Lord's presence, who can see that higher purpose behind everything, or as our Param Gurudev Srila Sridhar Maharaj should say, every wave is favorable. Every wave that is coming to you is favorable. If you're tuned in to the absolute vision, to the central vision, to higher vision, everything that's coming, it is favorable, it is positive. So Arjuna is crying, Krishna is smiling. Yeah. Okay. So we're in verse 11.
Sri Bhagavan Vata Asachandan Nasojatan Pragyavadanscha Bhasase Gatashuna Gatashuncha Nanu Sochanti Pandita.
Sri Bhagavan Vacha Ashochan Anvashochastvam Pragya Vadamscha Bhashase Gatasun Agatasumcha Nanu Shochanti Pandita. It's a pretty tough response from Krishna. Oh, maybe it's my turn. The Lord said, "O Arjuna, you are lamenting for that which is unworthy of grief, yet speaking words of wisdom. The wise lament neither for the living nor the dead." So Krishna is kind of like poking a little fun at him, like, you're talking all these big words like you're a very wise person, but actually what you're talking about, it is not worthy of this type of grief. But the really wise people, they don't lament for living or for the dead. So now we're coming to the first instruction of Bhagavad Gita. And this is like the ABCs, you can say, of spiritual understanding. This is like the foundation upon which everything else will be stood. That we are spirit soul. You're forgetting this fundamental, oh Arjuna, you're talking all these big and fancy words and you're saying all these great philosophical things, but you're missing this very key and fundamental points. That actually there's no question of living or dying or killing. We are all spiritual entities. We are spiritual souls. It is not possible to kill anyone in the absolute sense. So now we come to the first teaching here.
sarve bhayavata param.
Na tvevaham jatu nasam na tvam neme janadita na chaiva na vavishamaha sarve vayam atatatam. Very nice verse, very nice verse. Mark and David.
Never was there a time when you, I, or all of these kings did not exist. Just as we exist in the present, so have we existed in the past and shall continue to exist in the future.
We are all existing, past, present, future, for all time. And this verse, of course, is very often quoted, this next one. And has some strong imagery, which is very helpful.
Dehi vasmini jatha dehi kumarajo vanamajara तथा देहांतर प्राप्तेर धीरस्तत्र नमुच्यते
देहिनोऽस्मिन् यथा देहे कौवरं यौवनं जरा तथा देहान्तरा प्राप्तिर् धीरस्तत्र नमुच्यते.
As the living being passes through the bodily changes of childhood, youth, and old age, it similarly obtains another body at death. The wise are not deluded by this.
So now you have very small body, right? You have very little body and you have very perfect skin. You have no wrinkles. But soon you're going to get bigger, you're going to get taller, and then as time goes by, they're going to get wrinkles like me. I'm starting to get wrinkles. And eventually you're going to get gray hair, you're going to get white hair. So then you understand this body is not you. That same person is inside. The outside is changing, but the same person is inside. So in the same way, at the end of our lives, we will lose this body, and then we will get another body, but that same person is inside. The wise are not deluded by this. Yesterday we visited, one of our friends took us to visit the Neasden temple. It was the first time, and he showed us through this museum. You've probably seen it.
Yeah.
And our friend, he was, one of the things he pointed out, he was very proud that the first plastic surgery took place in India. It's there, it's like a big thing there. But it's like a contradiction, because India is where we receive this deep knowledge. That you're not this body, you're a spiritual soul. And if you have real deep realization that you're a spiritual soul, you don't need to worry about plastic surgery. You won't worry if your skin is not perfect, and your lips are not full enough, so on and so forth. So we are verse number 14. Well, this verse, very helpful verse. All of these verses, they're like very core verses of Bhagavad Gita and very helpful for our own understanding and for the understanding of others. And sometimes this is what we call sambandha gyan, understanding what is what. Like, who am I? What is my real identity? What is the nature of this environment? What is the real purpose of our life? This is called sambandha gyan. So all of this is giving us very strong sambandha gyan, because as we go through life, we have to face so many bewildering circumstances. Especially you're a young teenager. It's like the worst time. I'm sorry to say it, but it's the most tough and confusing time in your life, But when you remember some of these like core spiritual principles, it'll just calm your mind, you know, it'll really help you so much, you know. So this verse in particular, very helpful. This will save us a lot of headache in life. This next verse.
Matra sparsastu kaunteya sitoshna sukha dukkhada agama payino nittaspan titikkasva bharata.
Okay. Matra sparsastu kunteya sitoshna sukha dukkhada agama payino nityas tam titikshasva bharata.
O son of Kunti, the engagement of the senses with their objects produces the sensation of cold, heat, pleasure and pain. But these effects are temporary, they come and go. Therefore, O Bharata, you must endure them.
So this is called the duality of this world, that things are always moving up and down, or hot and cold, or happy or sad, or rich or poor, or good grades or bad grades, or you have friends, you have enemies, you're popular, you're unpopular. It's like crazy. You get the job, you lose the job, and so on and so forth. These things are always like cycling in this world. And our tendency is to become very involved with them. You know, somebody says something nice to us and we're happy. Then somebody says something bad to us and then we're unhappy. We get something nice to eat and we're happy. We get something bad to eat and then we're unhappy. Like that, you know. So on and so forth. So we're like so dependent on these external factors. But here we're being told that's the nature of this world. Don't get caught up with that. All of this up and down and left and right. That the world is always moving like this. Nothing is stable in this world. But it has nothing to do with who you really are. With the soul, the eternal aspect within you. So don't get disturbed by these things. Just tolerate them. Try to be steady. Don't be disturbed by those things. Sometimes our whole day is dependent on the weather. Oh, today is so cold. and some people, they'll choose where they live just based on the weather. You know, they have good weather, then I'll live there. I can never live in England. The weather is terrible. People say that. But these are all, very superficial factors. We want to go to a deeper plane of life. And the thing is, whatever you gain in this world, you can lose it immediately. And we've seen that, Overnight, someone can lose all of their money. They've spent their whole life dependent on a particular circumstance, particular situation. They just lose it. Then you have to go to a deeper plane where you're not dependent on these things. Try to understand, who am I really? Who is that soul person that exists independent of all external factors? We have to really consider these things. These are like the real tools of life. This is really like becoming equipped with life tools, life skills. These are like the real life skills. Okay, so we're going to go to verse number 15.
Jangihina bathayanti te purusham purushar sabha sama dukkha sukang dhirang sumritataya kalapate.
Yam hina vyatayantyete purusham purusharshabha samadukha sukham dhiram samrita tvaya kalpate. It's number 15.
Our noblest of men, the wise man who is equipoised in pleasure and pain and undisturbed by sense experiences is alone qualified for immortality.
So equipoise, this is one definition of yoga, actually, that Krishna gives in Gita, to have this state of the word equipoised? means like balance, evenness. To be steady, to be even, to be equal. In pleasure, what we were just saying, pleasure and pain, happiness, sadness, what is going on in the world of the senses and the mind. In the midst of all of that, to be steady. Like, was it last week we mentioned that example? You see sometimes these like photoshopped images where you see like a person standing still, and on either side there's like hundreds of cars whizzing by. You've seen a photo like that before? So you see very like steady person, all this like craziness going on beside, but they're very steady, they're very still. This is yoga. This is equipoise. To be even, steady, and fixed in the midst of all of this. Okay, so number 16.
Na sato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate sata, uvayorapi drishtantas tanayos tattadarshi.
Na sato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate sata, uvayor api drishtantas tanayos tattadarshi.
Of the asa, destructible objects such as a mutable body and associated phenomena, there is no internal existence of the sat, internal object, the soul. There is no destruction or change. The nature of each has been realized by the seers of the truth.
Saying basically asat means temporary. For that which is temporary, like this changeable body and then objects of this world, there is no eternal existence. Nothing in this world is going to exist eternally. Don't even think about it. And of the asat, sat means eternal, like the soul, there is no destruction, there is no change. So two completely distinct categories. This body and everything connected with this body, it is going to vanish, it is going to change, but this body can never, the soul can never change. The soul is eternal. So we're on 17, right?
Avinashitu tadvidhi jena sarvamidang tatam vinasham abhaya sasya na kaschit kartumarhati.
Avinashitu tadvidhi yena sarvam idam tatam vinasham avyayasya na kaschit kartum arhati.
Know that the soul, by which the entire body is pervaded, is indestructible. No one can destroy the imperishable soul.
Antabanta ime deha nikta shokta saririna anasino prameyasya tasmad juddhasya bharata.
Antavanta ime deha nityasyukta sharirina anashino prameyasya tasmad yudyasva bharata.
The soul is said to be eternal, indestructible and immersible. Only these physical bodies are subject to destruction. Therefore, fight, O Bharata.
Vainang vitti hantaram jaschainang mannate hatam ubhauto na vijanito nayang hanti na hannate.
Yainam veti hantaram yaschainam manyate hatam Ubhoto na vijanito, nayam hanti nahanyate. Those who think the living being slays, and those who think it is slain, are ignorant of the true nature of the soul, for the soul neither slays nor is slain. You know what that means? Okay. English is a little old-fashioned sometimes, maybe.
Slave, is it from the word slave?
It means to kill.
To kill.
So to think that you can kill anybody or anybody can kill you, it is foolish. It is not possible. The soul is eternal. We're on 20, right? Yeah. This verse is very nice.
Na jayate mriyate va kadachit nayang bhutva bhavita vana bhuya ayo nittah sashratu yang purano nahannate hannamane sarire.
Na jayate mriyate va kadachin nayam bhutva bhavita vana bhuya ajo nitya shashvato yam purano nahanyate hanyamane sharire.
The soul is neither born nor dies, it has neither been nor will it be created, because it is unborn and eternal, it is ever youthful, yet ancient, it is still not destroyed when the body is destroyed.
Veda vinashinam nittam jayena majavadvayam katang sa purusha partha kang ghatayati hantikam.
Veda vinashinam nityam yaenam ajam avyayam katam sa purusha partha kam gatayati hantikam. It's Radharani's turn.
O Partha, knowing the soul to be indestructible, eternal, buildless, and immortal, how can a person kill or cause anyone to be killed?
Māsaṁ sikiranaṁ yatha vihāya navāni grinahāti narupārāni तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णान्यानि संजाति नवानि देहि
Samsijirnani yatha vihaya navani grinati naropārani tatha sharirani vihaya jirnanyani samyati navani dehi. This is a very nice verse. Our Gurudev liked this verse very much. It's a bit of a tongue twister though. I could never learn this one. Very nice example.
As a person adopts new garments, discarding those that are old and worn, similarly the soul continues to adopt new bodies, leaving those that are old and useless.
So just like when your clothes are dirty at the end of the day, you put them aside, the next day fresh clothes. So these bodies, they get worn out, then you need some new and fresh body. Very simple and clear example.
Naṁ chhindanti shastrāni nainam dahati pāvaka na chainam kledayantāpo na shūṣayati mārutaha.
Nainam chindanti shastrani nainam dahati pāvaka na chainam kledayantyapo na shūṣayati mārutaha.
Weapons cannot pierce the soul and fire cannot burn it. Water cannot wet it and air cannot dry it.
Asiduyam adachuyam aklidu sushaivacha nittah sarvagataha sthanu rachaluyam sanatana.
Achidyoyam adadyoyam aklidyo sushaivacha nitya sarva gatastanur achiloyam sanatana. We'll hear 25 as well.
Abhaktuyam achintuyam avikarjuyam uchate tasmadevang vidittainang nanusochitumarhasi.
Avyaktoyam achintyoyam avikaryoyam uchyate tasmadevam viditvainam nanusochitam arhasi.
It is said that the soul is indivisible and cannot be burned, moistened or dried. It is eternal. It reaches all planes, yet remains still, immovable and ever-present. It is imperceptible, inconceivable and untransformable by the sixfold transformations. Therefore, knowing the nature of the soul as such, there is no reason to lament for it.
And the sixfold transformations are birth, existence, growth, maturity, diminution, and destruction. So, this is incredible. How much power is within the soul? We don't know what power is within us. Our Gurudev, he'd like to give the example that the same soul that powers an elephant, right? It has so much power. The same soul is within a human or within an ant. So how much potential, how much power is within one soul? We don't know what type of potential is within us, what power is within us. We are focused on the cover, on the outer side, but the real substance is within. And it can be something theoretical for us, but if we have some glimpse of that within us, then we will be astonished. And we see that in the examples of the great saints. Even if we look at persons like the philosopher Socrates or Jesus Christ, they died to prove that the soul is immortal. They did not care that they were going to die because they knew the soul within, that is the substantial thing. They knew that was the substantial plane of existence. And this body, it is like a dress, like a piece of clothing that is being thrown off. So, number 26. Oh, well, then maybe we should stop.
What were the sixfold transformations again?
Birth, existence, growth, maturity, diminution, and destruction.
Diminution?
Diminution means something reducing.
Is that?
Yeah, I guess you could count diminution and destruction. Disease would go on. Diminution means something becoming less, reducing. So, like old people, they start to shrink up, right? You're becoming weaker, and finally death. So the soul is not subject to any of these things. It really gives us perspective, because when we're young and beautiful and healthy, we can be very proud about that. But we have to keep some perspective. It's all going to be gone in a flash. We cannot put so much importance to that. It is all flickering and moving very quickly. What do you think? Does it make sense to you? Does it sound good? You're missing your friend Subhadra, aren't you? She went out for a night on the town. Okay. Well, I think we'll stop there. Well, very, very nice to hear these foundational spiritual principles. Anyone have any last comments or questions or anything? Stop. Okay. Saraswati Didi, maybe can you lead us? We're singing Maha Mantra at the end of our Gita class. You can sing a few moments Maha Mantra.
Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda.
Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda.
Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasari
Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasari Gauravastavinda.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Jai Savarikara Sri Guru Gauranga Radha Giridhar Ji ki Jai. Jai Rupasula Malacharya Maharaj ki Jai. Rupasula Sundar Govinda Deva Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Rupasula Gopsi Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Rupasula Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Jai. Sri Rupananda Guru Varga ki Jai. Acharya Sri Maharaj Thakur ki Jai. Sri Bhagavad Gita class ki Jai. Sri Tulasi Devi Vrinda Devi ki Jai. Sri Sanyasi Vrinda ki Jai. Sri Acharya Vrinda ki Jai. Sri Yukta Vishakha Dasi ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai. Sri Harinama Sankirtan ki Jai. Thy Gaur Premanande. And this Friday is Ekadashi.
Right.
Yes.